in 3, 2. All right, welcome back. We are game 3001 in the winter 2021 semester, and it's week 3, part 1 of our broadcast. And we're going to be talking about dynamic steering behaviors today. But I wanted to talk about the stuff that we're looking at this week. So again, advanced steering behaviors with a little different than what we talked about last week. We're going to have lab 2 that's due Friday, at least for my sections. Alex will have his labs due, I believe, on Saturday. When I was talking with Alex and he was reviewing some of the labs that were submitted, what he's asked for from everybody is 3 screenshots, not just 1 or 2, from the stuff that we're doing in class together. And again, the reason for the 3 screenshots is he wants to see some variation in the stuff that we've asked you to do. So please take a look at when you do your labs, at least 3 screenshots. Miguel asked, do we have to do Alex's challenges? If you're in my class, no. But if you're in Alex's sections, then it's certainly something that you'd want to do. I think the challenges are good. I think that the challenges push you to kind of change different things and use. I know he was doing the pointer example in the last challenge. I think that was pretty good. Good idea to understand how to use pointers in your code. So that is something that's really cool. And Alex is going to continue to push everybody by adding different challenges, and they're certainly optional for everybody here today. What file should we start with today? We're going to start from last week's file, Neil, and I want to show you how to do that in your lab. How to start from it, and go from the last lab, clean it up, and then start new. And this way we can continue the fine work we started last week with more work that we're going to do this week. And we'll talk about positives and negatives about some of the stuff we did. All right, so this week, again, from a schedule perspective, assignment 1 is due. Please don't forget to do it. It's an individual assignment. You should have already started it by now. And today what we're going to be talking about is the idea of collision avoidance and advanced steering behaviors. I'm also going to release assignment 2, and the first part of the day is going to be me talking about assignment 2 details. And the assignment 2 is going to be due by week 6, so a few weeks from now. It looks like it's really far away, but assignment 2 is a group assignment, groups of up to 2 people, and you're going to see that it's much more difficult and challenging than assignment 1. All right, so that's coming up. We'll talk about that today. So again, today, advanced steering behaviors and collision avoidance is what we're talking about today. So let's get to it, and we'll start looking at the file that I put up. So again, if you look at your Blackboard, under assignments, I see 2 assignments. One of them is steering behaviors, and the other one is pathfinding, which is the one that's going to be due Sunday, February 21st. Sounds like really far away, but not really far away. At midnight, okay, that's when it's going to be due. But you may not be able to see this one because you need to sign up for groups. So if you look at groups, I've made basically 50 groups. What I'd like you to do right now, if you take a moment and connect with one other person, I'd like you to make groups of 2. I would like you not to do it on your own, if possible, right? Asper's asking, sir, when you put follow the instructions lab, the lab direction in class, that means like if I give you something to do, then I want you to follow what I've basically done. That's what I'm asking. But anyways, let's go back to this. So assignment 2 groups. If you notice, this is A2 groups. I'll produce new groups every assignment. So from now on in, there's going to be groups for each of the assignments that are coming up, right? Assignment 3 and 4 are 2 is max, Neil. So what I'm looking for is groups of 2, again, that you'll be kind of putting together. So there's 50 groups, and there's like 90 of you. There should be enough for you guys to connect with at least one other person, right? So groups of 2 is what I'm looking at for the second assignment. So please sign up. If you don't sign up for a group, then you cannot see the assignment. You won't be able to see the assignment or do anything with it unless you sign up for a group. That's number 1. Second thing that I wanted to mention when it comes to groups is you can certainly add yourself to a group, but removing yourself from a group is impossible. I have to do that for you. So please, what I'd ask you to do is talk to your group member first, then sign up for a group and have him or her, they sign up with you as an example. So that way, there's less moving around. So that's the first thing. So that's how you can see assignment 2. Okay, sign up for groups. So what is assignment 2? Here are the details. Again, this is due week 6, Sunday, February 21st by midnight. And this is the second part, or the second assignment we're getting in AI. And this is all around pathfinding. That's what the assignment's about. And notice it says for this assignment, you will work alone or with a partner, and for a total group size of up to 2 members. Okay, so like pair programming. Now again, you certainly can work alone, but I prefer that you work with a partner on this one. I think it's good, to work on with somebody else with the level of details that I've got here, and it'll set you up nicely for working with somebody for assignment 3 and 4 when you know how they work. Okay, so please don't choose some random person or a person that you know is not going to produce any work. If you know that the person that you're going to connect with is not a worker and you're not happy working with them, they ask you to work with them, don't do it. Like it's not necessary. And worst case, what I can do is I can create additional groups if necessary, but I really like to stay under 50 groups if possible, because 50 groups means for 50 individual marks, and it's a lot for me to do. Okay, so that is when it's due. How do we set this up? Yeah, you go to tools and then groups, and you can self sign up. Thank you for that, Vash. In this assignment, some criteria are marked as mandatory. Please be careful about the mandatory criteria, which means each criterion marked as such must be completed. There is no way around it. And then, or you will receive a mark of 0 for the assignment. Some of you, there's also stuff that's marked mandatory on assignment number 1. Please be careful and view the assignment details carefully. All right. So how do you set up your project? You must use the template provided on Blackboard as a base. This template is the assignment framework that I've already given you. Okay, so that is something that you're going to be using. It's on Blackboard. The link to the GitHub repo is there. It's going to give you a fresh start. You can also use the modified version of that from assignment 1. Okay, so if you've modified, you've added additional features like I did with you guys last week, and you wanted to use a modified version of assignment 1. Again, assignment 1's got to be out of there, so there can't be anything left from assignment 1 other than some different utility functions or things that you've added in on your own. But otherwise, yeah, you can continue with what you started from assignment 1 if you added new stuff. You must have a start scene. So again, just like we do in assignment 1, your start scene has to have a labels that includes your name and student ID for you and your partner, and some kind of button that takes us to the play scene. So that's, again, notice that there's 5 points awarded for that, and that's kind of like 5 free marks out of 100 because you guys all have this structure already. Neil's asking, should I make a new repo for each lab or assignment? And the answer is, yeah, absolutely. I think it's a safe practice. It's good for practicing too, Neil. And it keeps everything compartmentalized. Don't give me every assignment in one big repository. That'll be more challenging to mark. All right, the play scene. So let's take a look at this one. So the play scene will demonstrate pathfinding. You must include a tile class, okay, as discussed in class or something similar. We're going to discuss it in class starting next week, okay? And that can map its orthogonal neighbors. So what this means is if I have a tile and I have neighbors above the tile, to the right of the tile, below the tile, and to the left of the tile, it should be able to map its neighbors. So the tile should know about its neighbors. That's how it works, right? And you must create a grid of tiles that you use for pathfinding. So this is kind of the structures that we're talking about here. Each tile object in your map should have a cost value associated with passing through it. So we're going to talk about pathfinding next week and what this means. And ensure you select an appropriate actor sprite. Okay, one thing that people have asked me for assignment 1, and I'm telling you for assignment 2 the same thing. Please do not use Mega Man. I don't want to see Mega Man coming back at me for assignment 1. Pick your own sprite. It does not have to be animated, okay, like Mega Man. So the actor you're gonna select, you're gonna get them from sources online or whatever. I don't want you to use the example sprites that I've given you. I want you to make your own. If I see the example sprites that I've given you come back at me, you'll lose marks. Okay, it's very simple. So one thing that it says is the actor must be oriented properly using the look where you're going algorithm. So this is something, again, that we talked about. We're going to be talking about this a little bit more today in lab, what this algorithm is. And we're going to create an interesting map that is overlaid on top of the tile in grid system. And this can be a bit creative. You can use obstacles, things like mountains and walls and debris that are impassable. You may also use some kind of tile map set, or simply draw your map tiles individually. It's totally up to you how you want to do that, but you have to have some kind of interesting background. So please don't just hand in a white screen. A white screen, you'll lose marks, all right, for a white screen. Some kind of label and text to provide instructions to the user. Example, press F for the shortest path and R to reset the scene. Some kind of text. By the way, you can also use IMGUI, which I'm showing you already, to have some kind of controls in your scene. We're going to talk about this later on. Simple effects, special effects or sound effects for various actions and triggers. So it's going to be a bit of a game. That's why you need a couple people to get this done. From a requirements perspective, you need to implement the A-star pathfinding algorithm, which we'll talk about next week in lecture. All right. And it talks about pathfinding heuristic and mapping functions. Richard says, for assignment 2, you want us to form groups for this. Yes, groups. Even if you're a group of 1, you still need to be in a group for you to be able to see this assignment at all. Okay. So that's what pathfinding does. And then there's a debug view, which you're going to get with the H key, which allows you to see the tile borders, the tile cost, and the path information. Again, you can show and hide objects with your, you can create, draw things with my utilities that I've given you already in the assignment framework. All right, so that's what I've done for you guys. You need to have a starting tile and a goal tile, and what you have to do is some kind of obstacle tiles. And what you want to be able to do, and here's mandatory, you must find and display the shortest path, right? As an example, when the user presses the F key, the shortest path is displayed from where the start state is, the start tile, to the end tile, okay? And then you may need to move the actor along the shortest path by pressing the M key or some other key that's available to you inside of your user interface. Sean asked, will we be marked on having a consistent visuals? Like, can we have an 8-bit sprite on an HD background? I mean, as long as it looks okay, Sean, I'm okay with it. But obviously I want you to think about this as a demo that you're going to do for somebody. And obviously, if you're going to make it 8-bit, try and do 8-bit everywhere if you can. Use Git and GitHub as source control. We talked about that last time. And then for your submission, just like last time, I'm asking for a zip archive of your project files, a link to your GitHub repo, and a short video presentation with you and your partner about, what you're, and you're going to demonstrate your code and your app and talk about your code a little bit, how you did the stuff. Right. So Nikolai asks both GH link and zip archive. Yes, please. Backup, Nikolai. Some people hand in an empty zip archive. Some people hand in a non-working GitHub link, and they don't know it. You think it's working, or you think the zip file has something in it, and you submit something for you and your group, and it's nothing. Right. So at least one or the other. Yeah. Please do not put a video in the zip in a zip archive ever, guys. I don't want whole videos. The video should be a link, and the link should be in your submission text. Okay. Please don't let me swim into the zip archive anytime you submit an assignment, and I have to download like 200 megabytes of video, or I have to download 200 megabytes of files because you haven't removed the garbage files, as an example, from your submission. And then I have to, kind of dive into it to try and figure things out. you can delete the hidden.vs folder, but what that ends up doing, Kenny, sometimes is it also removes settings. So yeah, I'm okay with you deleting .vs folder if you want to. I can figure that out. All right, so that is the requirements. Remember that for assignment 1 and assignment 2, any submission will not be accepted without a video and without the mandatory requirements being met. If you don't hand in the mandatory requirements, your assignment will not be marked. Okay, so somehow if you end up handing in something like the start screen, some kind of empty play scene with Mega Man, I told you don't use Mega Man, or whatchamacallit, the end scene as an example, and there's no functionality whatsoever, you're going to get a big fat 0. All right. Cameron asked, do we need to create 2 YouTube videos, or if only one, do both of us need to be on it? Only one needs to, one video needs to be made. I would like to hear both people kind of discussing different aspects, but you should only make one video. I don't expect 2 videos, from each of your teams. That doesn't make sense, right? Here's a video for me, and here's a video from, my friend Tom, kind of thing. Now, one video, and what you can do is you can do some creative stuff I've seen in the past. People use things like Discord. They're on Discord, and one of them is recording Discord when they're connecting with each other. And what happens is it has to be a very clean video. One thing that I will not accept is if your video is not able to be seen. So even for the one that's due this week, so assignment 1, please don't hand me in a video that is useless. If you hand in a video that's useless, I won't mark the assignment again. So it means that I can't see your screen and I can't hear your voice. If I can't see your screen, I can't hear your voice, video is not a video. All right, it's nothing. All right, so please don't hand that in, and don't hand in some kind of MP4 file or some kind of other MPEG video or something crazy that's 200 megabytes. I'm not going to download 200 megabytes, guys. Please be sensitive to the fact that I'm going to have to mark all that stuff. And at the same time, it's very challenging. When I have let's say 90 students handing in work, and the submissions just don't quite add up, in terms of like how you put them together, right? So please make sure the GitHub link is working on all your submissions. Make sure that your zip archive works. Test it, download it, see if it works for you. If it doesn't work for you, it's not going to work for me. Make sure that your video is a link that's accessible outside of the zip archive that you put on your, submission text. So I can just click onto it, or at least copy it and paste it inside of on my browser to get going, and so I can see your work. Okay. Those things are the things that I'm asking, and Alex would like you to do the same thing. One thing to note is you're going to demonstrate your app screens in the IDE. I said the simulator last time, simulator, IDE, same thing. All right, and this one is a little bit more weighty. It's worth 15% of your course grade, and this is because there's a lot more to do. So assignment 2 is due, and like it says at the top, on week 6, which is Sunday, February 21st by midnight. So lots of time, it seems, but really not lots of time. There's a lot of details here that I've asked you to go through. So please make sure, if you haven't had a chance to already, to sign up for a group, connect with a partner that you know is going to work, and then as soon as you're done assignment 1, get going on assignment 2. Okay, so that is assignment 1. I'm going to stop recording the YouTube video at this point because I only want this YouTube video just before assignment 2, so that you don't have to watch the whole YouTube video after this, or wait for the assignment 2 video to be done and then watch the next one, the next piece. So I'm going to stop recording now briefly, and I'll start recording the next one in a minute or so. All right, so I'm